part 2 of my Talking With series with the incredibly talented cast of 2 hit wonders at Stage West Calgary as we do this recording for the interview. We're going to talk to each one of them a little bit individually, find out a little bit more, and then we've got some group questions, time permitting. But we'll start off with going around the room and find out a little bit more. Where do we want to start?
My name is Shawna, and okay, what have I done? I've worked at Charlottetown Festival for a long time, and just did Billy Elliot in Toronto, and just kind of worked around Ontario and across the country.
I'm Katrina, and this is actually my 3rd time back at Stage West, which is great. Right before this, I was doing Jesus Christ Superstar on Broadway, which started in Stratford, and that was my first season at the Stratford Festival. And I've also worked at Shaw and Charlottetown and a few other places around Canada.
Fantastic stuff.
I'm Aaron Walpole. I was actually with Kat, and well, the next guy was you're going to talk to, Lee, in New York for Jesus Christ Superstar on Broadway. It was a Stratford production. Went to La Jolla after that, and then to New York, and sadly closed far too early. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I've been to Stage West, actually, Stage West Calgary. This is my 7th show here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hi, Lee Siegel. As Aaron said, I was with Katrina and Aaron in New York doing Jesus Christ Superstar. Then I did a Broadway workshop of a new musical called Superfly while I was out there. And now this is my 5th show here at Stage West Calgary. And happy to be here. Happy to be part of it.
Hi, I'm Kraig Waye. This is my 2nd time here at Stage West. I did the Buddy Holly story back in '09, where I played Joe Malden, the bass player. Neat little segue into what I do with my life for the most part. When not traveling all over the country doing theater, I'm working pretty much full-time as a bass player / vocalist for 5 or 6 different bands, be it original or corporate working groups in Toronto.
Fantastic stuff. Well, I'm going to try and discreetly sneak back over to Shawna. I've got her stuff right up on top here. So just have a little bit of fun going around and finding everybody online and seeing what I can discover that might not be in the playbill. we had some fun in part 1. Some people are more active online than others, but one of the things I found online, I guess on your bio page really, was talk about Canadiana. You performed in Don Messer's violin. There's nothing more Canadian than that.
Yes, that was actually my first. I didn't do, obviously not the original show. Not quite old enough for that one. Not yet, anyways. But yeah, that was actually my first equity production that I did when I was 17, and it was in PEI, and Frank Leahy was playing Don Messer.
Amazing.
So it was amazing. Yeah, it was an amazing opportunity. And I got to work with a lot of people who I've subsequently worked with who were, you know, it was just a neat opportunity being so young and working with all these amazing professionals.
Here's the interesting thing. I've done 2 reviews for most shows for years. So I have to come up with one review that's totally different from the others. And no matter what I say, the whole cast, every member, I'm not going to name every one of them, but the last one for the newspaper I did. Because in the first one, I got comments, that blonde on stage, she was in the Toronto production of Billy Elliot. I can't mention everything. You're limited. So, you know, it's just fun that there's people out there that are fans and following, and that it was kind of neat to know that you were in the Mirvish production of Billy Elliot first national tour.
Right, yeah.
So a great little experience.
That was amazing actually, because I saw that show in London about, I guess it was about 5 years ago, and it was one of those shows where I went in, saw the show, and the minute I walked outside, I called my mom and said, I just saw the best show. It was amazing, and I completely fell in love with it. So when I actually got the show, and they were only casting 2 girls because they had already been in Chicago, I was ecstatic. It was amazing. So of all shows to get, you know, it's anytime it's great to work in Toronto because it's few and far between. But to do a show that I absolutely loved already was incredible.
Yeah, so you're a graduate of Sheridan College Music Theatre Performance Program, completed top Royal Conservatory exams for both voice and piano. So this thing might work out for you if you keep at
He
it.
was hoping, yeah. so far, so good.
I think it's working out.
You're doing all right. You're doing all right.
Well, despite the fact that somebody had to come point it out to me, I did mention in both reviews that you all were top of the line. So we'll sneak over to Katrina, who I didn't realize before I started doing official reviews, I have seen you. I didn't realize way back in Dreamgirls, which was,
yeah.
oh my God, that was like an astounding production.
Oh, thank you.
And that's the thing is, one of the reasons I like to do these and help promote everybody is the talent here is ridiculous. If people aren't aware or they have that philosophy that, you know, dinner theater isn't legitimate. Oh my God, you got 3 people right here from Broadway. You can't get any more legitimate. So you are a graduate of the Randolph Academy of Performing Arts, graduated as a triple threat.
Yeah. Yeah, I graduated from Randolph Academy of Performing Arts. It's a 2-year program, and with Kraig Waye was actually in my class.
So you literally get to use all of those skills here.
Oh, well, yeah. All the time, every day. It's great.
So you were on Broadway, for Pete's sake. I know it was a short run, but hey, there's been short runs of some pretty big shows out there.
Yeah.
What an experience.
Yeah, it was insane. I loved it. I learned so much, and I mean, it's kind of like the mecca of what we do. So I feel it felt really cool to accomplish that, and it was kind of unexpected. You know, when you first audition for a Stratford show, you don't expect you're going to end up in New York City one day with it. So it was a wild ride. We got to be on the Tonys, and I got to go on The View, and like all this crazy stuff, which you would never imagine happening. And it was good.
Yeah. It's remarkable sometimes that we take for granted that it's not that far away if you're working towards it.
Yeah, that's true.
So
anything could happen, right?
Yeah. I mentioned before that I had seen you as a standout in Buddy the Buddy Holly story as the Big Bopper. Then I'm watching TV with my wife one night, and they're promoting Rock of Ages, and there's Aaron Walpole walking along as part of the cast. Then I read or hear another thing that you're on Broadway in the cast of Jesus Christ Superstar. Pretty remarkable as well for what you've.
Yeah, it's been a fun few years actually. With every year in this career, my career it steps up again, like to a different level. That's both personal and both career oriented. But it's just. Every single year comes, with every year comes a new surprise. And yeah, I'm loving it.
I didn't realize you might be the only one here that has aeronauts following you.
Well, I wouldn't imagine aeronauts would be following Kraig or Lee. Or Shawna.
So I didn't realize you're another one of the cast that's come out of Canadian Idol.
Yeah, it was season 3, 3rd place finalist. And yeah, that show helped me out a lot. I ended up opening up for the Bare Naked Ladies for a few shows, singing, sharing the stage with them. Opened up for some of my favorite bands too, Loverboy.
Oh my gosh.
Journey and Motley Crue, and yeah, some really cool. I had a lot of really cool gigs that came out of that. Yeah.
Great exposure. It's unfortunate that they're all kind of wobbling right now, trying to find their audience again. I don't know why the struggle is, but. There was an appetite before that just couldn't seem to be quenched as far as that kind of stuff. So it was wonderful you were able to get some experience out of that. You also have a band. I see here, self-titled CD back in 2006. Anything new in the pipeline?
Well, I keep writing stuff, but it's all crap. That's the God's honest truth there. I mean, it's. Well, I'm also a bit of a perfectionist that way too, and like my first record was a really good record, especially for a first record. But there are a couple things in there that I wish, like, if I could go back, I would change, and I thought that immediately when I held the CD in my hand for the first time. Too. I was like, okay, no, I don't like that ending. It should have went here, there, and yeah, but you just gotta go with what you got when you got it. And yeah, I've got a second CD that's been in the works. I'm just trying to find that right sound too.
It's a remarkable world as a writer and an author. I'm seeing a huge group of people out there publishing. Is that the same sort of thing you kind of see in the music industry, that almost anybody now with technology can record something?
Well, the stuff that we have now is, if you think about it, all those hit songs that, the beginning of rock and roll and the beginning of, even the blues, the early blues and that too, you think about how they were recorded, like directly to wax.
Yes.
You think, you play those records, those recordings to some of the younger kids now too, and they're like, oh, the quality is just, it sounds like crap. And you're like, yeah, but the song's a hit.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
For generations.
And, if you can take your laptop and a USB microphone, you're light years ahead of where they were technology-wise.
Yeah.
You just need to write the right song and record it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody can do it.
I think I discovered that this whole connection with the Broadway production of Jesus Christ Superstar on the 30th anniversary message that you guys did for Stage West, which was kind of cool. So I'm just like, oh my God, and just so you know, I can't remember when you guys were both in Motown Gold, but there are still downloads of that interview happening right now. It's ridiculous. Wow. So it's
incredible.
It's
Thank
remarkable.
You, Thank you for listening to us.
So there's an appetite. So you've moved from the Broadway stage back here, but you're looking to do work on Tommy coming up.
Yes, actually, Katrina and I will be returning to Stratford for our second season, right? Yeah, our second season with Des McAnuff in the 2013 revival of Tommy, which who knows where its destination will lead, but thrilled to be going back. So.
Not bad having your foot in the door.
Not at all. Not at all. I'm just really blessed. Like Aaron said, every year my career goes in another direction I never knew it was going to go in. Especially being from a small town, and people telling you, it's a great dream to have, but you should be a doctor. And to step on the stage with these three at the Tony Awards last year, I mean, if you go back and watch that clip, I am beaming from ear to ear.
You all were.
Like, doctor this, people. But yeah, it's been a wild ride, and I'm very blessed.
Very cool. Do you want to talk a little bit at all about Pledge Music? It's kind of a neat new concept.
Yeah, it was great. A friend had suggested it to me to raise funds for my new CD, which will be released in February of 2013. Woo! We go into the studio in 4 weeks. But pledgemusic.com/projects/Lee Siegel, LEESIEGEL. And you can reserve a copy of the new CD. It's my debut CD, so we're working hard. It's going to be myself and our musical director, Conrad Pluta, here at Two Hit Wonders. Just having a good time, having some fun.
That guy has got his finger
in
everything.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
He's amazing.
He's just
so
a good man. So good, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we're going to go over to Mr. Lou Christie, who I think I mentioned when I got up to him after the show. Kraig Waye.
Hello.
I found a little bit of information on a band called The Slights.
Oh, yeah.
Is that still an active enterprise?
It is, actually. We've taken a bit of a hiatus just because, as we've all been saying, people, everybody's heading in every which direction. And actually, my co-writer has been attending university for the last 2.5 years, so that's definitely put a bit of a stoppage on the work. But we're actually writing a lot more now, and actually as well heading back into the studio in the spring. In May, I think we're going to start recording the next album.
Fantastic stuff. I see your debut album came out in 2008. So on a stage of between good and some of the other words that were bandied around earlier.
Oh, I think
It's great.
It's a great album.
it's incredible. Go out and buy it.
No, it really is.
It's on iTunes. I think the same as Aaron. I think anybody, as soon as any project comes out, there's always things you wish you could change. There are things you can, but it is what it is. It's a little time capsule of whatever was happening at that time, and there it is. So it's happened. I can't change anything. So, I know a lot of things I will do differently this time for sure. I'm just looking forward to see how the music evolves and maturity wise, how and how we're going to approach the work and that whole process when it comes.
Well, I think we're going to move into, I don't want to run out of time like I did before. I'll try and get in some of the questions that I didn't get a chance to with the last group. This was more just a curiosity thing, and if none of you are brave enough to, or have anything, don't feel obligated. But I'm just wondering, you guys are a pretty tight group, and you've worked together for a while. Does anybody do any impressions of one of their castmates?
Always. But never in front of him.
No, he's completely never.
No. No, not at all.
That's not really our thing.
No.
Well, one of the things I wanted to mention, I raved in my review that one of the things you guys captured was that opening part of the show. I used to go to a lot of nightclubs when I was younger. A lot of you were probably not even born when some of those songs came out, I hate to say, but I've seen a lot of the original artists, and I've seen a lot of groups doing that sort of stuff. How do you connect to stuff that is just like that everything so nicely, so well, so fantastic? How do you get into the spirit of those songs? Are the songs just that great? Do they hit you in a sweet spot? What makes you
a lot of the
relate
songs
to it?
have a good storyline, which is the most important thing about selling a song, is that connect to the words that are written and deliver them as you feel them inside. So a lot, like, we make fun of Brandy in a good way backstage just because it's fun to sing and we make fun of it for our sakes. But when I'm on stage telling the song, there's a great story there about a young girl who does what any girl today would do, just in a bar selling her wares and or selling drinks, and you just connect to those things. Like, you're not selling her wares, not selling her wares. She just went for $1 whiskey and rye. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's just connecting to the song story and the words.
Also, the way that we learned it, the way that we sat down in the beginning of rehearsals, Conrad would play the original song first, and we would all have a listen to it. And his goal was for us to capture as much as we could from them, and then add a little bit of our personalities to it, but just to try to mimic the sound a little bit and try to stay true to the rhythm and the original artist, and then let a little bit of our personality shine through, which happens naturally anyway. So I think a lot of that has a lot to do with Conrad and the way that he actually presented the rehearsal to us, and the way that he scored the show, and the way that he ran our first few days of rehearsal. We learned all the music in like 4 days.
And also too, when even once the band kicks in, you can't help but be immediately transported to that era, because they're bringing it out like it's supposed to sound, and
signature sounds.
So there's a big difference between like the 70s love set. When you hear the electric piano come in and on the heavy bass line, as opposed to the doo-wop, it's as soon as you hear it and it kicks in, you're there.
Where are you going off to from here?
From here, I'm going to lovely Chemainus, BC, to do yet another production of the Buddy Holly story.
My goodness!
Indeed. I think it runs. I don't have dates in my head right now, but end of February to mid-April.
Wonderful.
This guy, as I said before, returns to Stratford Festival in Tommy and Donna Fior's production of Fiddler on the Roof. And if you want to find me, I have a fan page on Facebook, Lee Siegel, and I'm on Twitter at Lee_Siegel.
Perfect.
I have nothing.
If I
except for some music. I'll probably be doing some gigs and finally taking advantage of having some time off to go watch some shows.
And enjoying your work.
And I get to go home and live with my fiance. Doggy. It's so nice.
Excellent. Katrina.
I'm also off to Stratford. We start rehearsals for Fiddler on February 11th, so a few days after this closes on the 3rd. And then Tommy, so I'll be doing that. And I guess you can find me on Facebook. And my phone number is...
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Wrapping it up with Shawna.
What's your ideal date?
I'm heading back to Toronto. I have just a music studio at my house, so I'm going back to, just started building that up before I left for these few months. So I'm going back to that and spend time with my husband. And I have a music page on Facebook that is Van Omme Music Studios, and my website is shawnavanomme.com.
Wonderful. Well, I can't say enough thanks for all of you. I mean, this is in between 2 shows today, and it's a pretty grueling a few hours of music there that is very active. So thanks so much. Continued success in this show and future events, and it was just wonderful to have a few minutes to talk to you today.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you so
Take care, everybody.